Yo Yo what's good สบายดีคนลาว What up ฮัมจังได้ฮัมน้อย You know what I'm saying It's logo on the mic Shout to Alex Hanasakda G Bloods Talking Lao'd radio You know what I'm saying What up AK Let's go Yeah Talking Lao'd worldwide เป็นรายการ radio มีแต่สาระหน้าหูที่จะเอามาโชว์ให้พวกท่านได้หูให้พวกท่านได้เห็นอันใดที่คักคนลาวก็เฮ็ดเป็น
ส่งเสียงห้องโฆษณาไปจากเมืองลาวให้พี่น้องครับผู้ที่อยู่เมืองหนาวบอกว่าจะอยู่บอนใดอย่าลืมความเป็นลาวตำบักหุ่งลาบก้อยข้าวเหนียวเหล้าขาว
Yeah Make sure y'all tuning in y'all you know what I'm saying G Bruts in the house What up Alex Peace
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Bakam Noi or Alex. Speaking out loud, our first fucking episode, man. How fucking dope is this? And I couldn't be more happier with the guests we have on now. It was kind of a spontaneous thing where, you know, we were trying to figure out what we were going to do with this podcast, where we really ultimately wanted to do something where the voices could be heard without going into these groups and reading their pages and reading about the actual person. Which is cool now. Don't get me wrong. Like, but ultimately it was like let's get these people on here and talk, and that's what we're doing. We're talking loud,
loud and proud.
But really, it was it's a Southeast Asian based podcast. I'm Kun Lao myself, and I really just I just really had this idea, this kind of like where are all the Laotians out there that are really doing something different than these cliche people that are that get blasted every 24/7 all the time. It happens a lot. You see it, and that's cool. Like, I'm not knocking your hustle at all, but there's people out there still that would never get the recognition from the stuff they've done, the stuff they're trying to do, and ultimately the stuff that their goal is, man, which is really just being a good human being. That's our purpose, right?
Yes, sir.
Especially considering we're all Kun Lao, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's really important that we have everyone here to have this dialogue with Kun Lao and just talk about them, man. Just have a conversation with them ultimately. So yeah, first fucking podcast, and I'm swearing a lot. I'm sorry.
Excited.
But I'm very excited that Cy and Kimmi are here. And what the inspiration behind it with Cy and Kimmi coming on was pretty much I was like, how do I get people, the kings without the crowns on the show, and how do their voices get heard? So then right away, Cy clicked in my head for some weird reason. Call it faith, call it whatever you want to call it. But I was like, this guy has been through a lot from what I've heard. I've met Cy, no more than a handful of times, but I knew his story. It kind of resonated in the Laotian community, and I was like, I got to get this guy on my show. Because with all due respect, politics aside, you cannot hate on a guy that's, correct me if I'm politically wrong, but Marine soldiers, like, do you guys take offense to that? Okay, but someone that went through what this guy went through, you gotta respect that, regardless of your political position. I sound like a cheerleader right now, but like, for real, like, you cannot hate on this motherfucker or anyone that goes through combat, regardless of your political side. And that was the inspiration by getting Cy and his beautiful wife on here, because you wrote a song for Cy, right?
Yes.
And just the combination of those two, a lot of people out there don't really know what it is to have this, what it is to be a soldier in combat, on top of it being injured, 2 tours, and having your wife supporting you. Like, that's some hardcore shit, man. I think I have some issues with my girl. Then I think about you guys. I'm like, they got way more of an issue to deal with, right. Considering, with all things considered, man.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
So, Cy, well, first of all, thank you guys for coming on so much, man. This is a lot of love, a lot of respect from me, considering what you guys have done, and taking the time to come here. So we're here right now with my co-host Sam Santipop.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
This is straight up freestyle too, nothing scripted. So if I'm rambling a lot, but anyways, I'm completely honored to have you guys here, man. It's again, like, you guys are the first people on the show, and with all things considered, you guys are the epitome of, like, really, like, a hero in a way, right?
It's our pleasure.
So, Cy, so you've done 2 wars in Afghanistan or Iraq?
One in Iraq and 2 Afghanistan. But before I begin, I want to thank you guys for having me. And, you know, it's an honor for us to be the first, you know, on this show. And I know it's going to go big and go far. And that's why I'm here, because I believe in you. I believe what you're going to do. We flew away off from California to come out here to be in the show with you guys tonight. So, you know, hope you guys enjoy it. Little about myself, I was born in Laos, 1974. Came to the country, you know, because of the war, of course. Everybody came here. Got here in 1979. Lived in Alabama for a little bit. And then found some family in Chicago, so we moved to Chicago. Lived there for like 5 years. Then after that, we moved to Milwaukee to be close to the other family that we had. And then after that, I moved to Iowa, where I spent most of my life. And yeah, people are like, Iowa, where is that at?
That's like the biggest redneck town.
You go potato there? I go,
We
no,
thought
not
Wisconsin was
Idaho.
bad, but Iowa, wow,
Yeah.
you're raising the bar here with Iowa.
Yeah, it was a transition. It was a huge difference, you know, night and day from Milwaukee City and Chicago City to you know, a small rural town of 2,000 people. So yeah, I said it, 2,000 people.
I thought Burlington was bad, man, because I grew up similar. I grew up in Burlington, where we're like the only 3 Kon Lao. Population was what at the time probably 5,000. Wow. But when I hear 2,000, I'm like, damn, can it get any worse?
2,000, yeah. It was. I mean, it was great to live there because you know, I had good education, and I got a chance to play sports, and you know, met a lot of cool people, and you know, great teachers that really care about us, and you know, but you know, I want to give a shout out to my wife that's here with me tonight. You know, without her, I would not be here today, and you know, things I've gone through. She is my rock. She is my everything, and she's done a lot and put up with me. And you know, what I've gone through, what happened to me since I've been in combat and got injured, whatnot. You know, she's been the one that held together and backed me up and support me. So I want to tell her thank you, and I want to, you know, tell her I love her for being here for me.
Wow, that's some heavy shit, man. Again, like I said before, people don't really know how it is to be a wife of a soldier, and at the same time, a fucking soldier that's been through combat. Marine. I apologize.
I already warned you about that.
I'm sorry.
Thought you got the
I'm
memo.
very ignorant to this, and I know there's levels to it, but I, you know, almost apologies to that. But we'll call Marine from now on. But to be a wife soldier, like through war, with him missing, for him gone for long periods of time, to him coming back, and you know, you're not getting the same guy you found. Well, not the same guy you found, but a different person ultimately.
No, you're right.
And for you to deal with that was, you know, we argue about like little physical issues with our you know, fiancés or girlfriends or whatever, but for you to still love this guy and like stick through with him, that's impressive. Like it's got to be really tough, right?
And there's always someone for everyone.
Yeah.
Is there a way we could get my wife to introduce herself and tell her about her? So people
Yeah,
know
I'm
that
sorry.
she's-
Yeah. So Kimmi, from what I've been told and from what I've heard, is well, first of all, she's very beautiful. You guys are a very beautiful couple.
Thank you.
Family, and she's a musician that. I'm sorry, audience, but she kind of, not kind of. She
is.
Did I fucking say that? Okay, but she wrote a song about, you know, military women that are dealing with people with PTSD or their significant other with PTSD. And I know PTSD is a very, very, you know, it's people don't understand it a lot, right? They see this acronym, and they equate it with, you know, just it's just something that's blown in the wind. Mm-hmm. But really, like it's some heavy shit, man. Like you got to deal with that, you know.
It's pretty heavy.
I mean, Cy dealing with it compared to you dealing with it, and Cy, like, let me know if I'm, you know, I just want to ask some questions about PTSD because I've heard so much about it. Like, what is like everyday life
Wait,
living?
hold on. Let's get an introduction first. I want to see where she came from first.
Oh, okay, yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Thanks.
Alex, excited, Alex. Yes.
Oh gosh. Okay, here I am. My name is Kimmi. I'm from Milwaukee, originally from Laos, born in 1975, and my family moved to Milwaukee, and that's been where we've lived all our lives. Grew up in Milwaukee and lived, finish up my high school years in Greenfield, Wisconsin. Fortunately, I've met my husband when I was about 14 years old. He had a small, just a slight crush on me. Ain't gonna lie. No, he was actually this scrawny little
I used to wear
kid.
glasses back then.
Okay, all right.
30 years later, you still wearing glasses.
But anyways, as far as my music goes, since the age of 14, I was introduced to a band. It's called The Reminders. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Sang with them for a few years, and a few other bands, The Spider, Lao Star, Sunshine Band. And,
Sunshine, woo!
Oh, yeah.
Sunshine, I know Sunshine.
Give them both of them. Give it up. Legends.
Yeah, Legends of Milwaukee. Kind of, sprouted out a little bit, but then again, Midwest, how far can you go? Pretty much sang in the local bands, weddings, parties, you name it. Pretty much all of my adult life, or high school to adult life. Love music. That's where my heart is. It wasn't until 2011 when I recently moved to California, and that's pretty much where, it's kind of sort of taking off.
Now, did you move to California because of site service? Or?
Yes, we moved to California because of site service. I, pretty much sold my nail salon.
Wow, you had a nail salon in Milwaukee?
Yes, I had a nail salon in
3 of 'em.
Milwaukee.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Been doing nails for 20 years. That's got me from point A to point B.
Sure.
Sold my shop to move out to California because that was his next duty station. Right after he came back from Afghanistan, was pretty much when we moved out to California, 2011.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's the purpose behind California? I mean, you just want more sunshine? Was it because it was closer to your base?
Well, actually, when we were dating, engaged and whatnot, he was stationed in Lejeune, North Carolina. Loved the town, beach town, you name it. But he asked me, he says, hey, if we were to get married, where would you want to live? And I said, shit, not in North Carolina, I'll tell you that. So he says, well, pick,
Yeah.
He gave me a list of places. And I said, you know what? I've always wanted to live in California ever since I was,
Who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's
it
like
wasn't even
Lao's
that. You know
goal,
what? To be honest
probably.
with you, I've always dreamed of living in California.
Right.
The sunshine, the lifestyle, the music industry, everything. It's just,
You know what? It's funny because, like, I think you hit it right on the head. Something about California where we get America, then you get California. That's kind of like a different country.
Right.
Sure is.
I think
Yeah.
everyone kind of wants to migrate, but
Yeah, just touch base on that. I think a lot of people see it in the movie and see it, like, on TV. And it's like, the land of the shining star in Hollywood. People want, like, limelight. So it's like people's dream to go there.
is this a stereotype, guys? Because you guys live in California. Are people nicer in California, or
Some people are, but the majority are really stuck up and,
really? Okay.
fast paced. And
I think it's because
Hold on,
it's
hold
the
on.
warmer weather.
We gotta introduce. Wait, well, fuck.
Who's that guy?
We totally forgot, man.
No, it's okay.
we have
They're
You
international.
guys
have,
will talk.
Everybody's cousin.
we have the voice of reason up in this
Mr.
crate.
Cuz in the house.
We got my buddy Angel that I just met for the first time tonight. I've heard his name before. He
Many
actually
times.
runs the podcast page. I'm sorry, he runs this page that's huge called Laos is not a country, it's an ethnicity. Is that?
Laos
is that
is-
By the way,
Laos is a country, not a
Oh,
nation.
Are you drunk,
okay,
Alex?
You're right. You know what? I've been speaking to 5 million people this past few weeks about the podcast.
Damn.
Again, this is our
Wow.
first podcast.
Woo!
My mind's a little
First.
fried right now. Well, not that many.
I feel special. I feel special.
But yeah, dude, I feel special. Fuck you. Like, you guys are my guests, man, and like,
No, fuck
I feel
both of
special
you.
that you guys are here.
Fuck you. We feel
Oh,
special.
fuck you.
But I'm very honored. But anyways, Angel, I mean, he's like kind of like the dark horse out of the Laos community, where this dude like knows everybody and their fucking mama. Like we were just literally doing shots downstairs, and this guy's just like lipping off at the mouth about you gotta check this. I'm like, holy shit, I've even never heard of these dudes. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, what's your connection with Angel here?
He's everybody's cousin.
Angel's everybody's cousin in the Laos community. Okay,
We're all related through Cousin Angel.
but yeah, Angel, tell us your story, man. Like, you run that page. That's where I kind of like use your platform to lift this podcast off right now. This episode.
Well, you know, I'm Angel, and I'm Kimmy's cousin that's married to Cy, and gratefully, I was part of their wedding. I was a groomsman at their wedding. It was like one of the best weddings ever.
Nice.
But you know, been in the United States since 1978. Been in Milwaukee since 1979. And ever since then, you know, we got a lot of family came through. But other than that, since we're here to talk about everything else, you know, me and another friend, Bradley, he's half French and half white, or half French, half Laos. We run the page. Laos is a country, not an ethnicity.
Is Bradley that BGZTV?
Yes, that funny ass
that
dude.
Dude is fucking hilarious.
He's not fucking hilarious. He's fucking retarded. He has
That's a borderline there.
He takes all these medications because he's fucking retarded.
Hey, I do the same thing.
Angel, that dude's a trip though. Like,
No, but that's my boy.
I see clips on like, a lot of like parodies that he tries to do, but this guy fucking nails it, man. What his name's Bradley?
His name is Bradley Fillion.
All right, Bradley Fillion. If
His
you're
dad
tuning
is
in,
French. His mom is Lao.
the kid's brilliant, man, and
Funny as hell.
wow, funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Holy shit. But Angel, you have an interesting story. I mean, you grew up in Milwaukee, so this is for the Midwest cats
My
out
whole
there,
life.
where you know, Angel, tell us what's going on in Milwaukee at the time, that in your generation, with the banging from like the LPs to like, you know, the social ills that, because I you know, theoretically, a lot of the people that are tuning in right now that aren't familiar with like Laotians and first generation Laotians, what happened is after the war, a lot of Laotians got kind of pitted in the hoods of the worst areas in the cities. So we grew up kind of in poverty, you know, and we saw nothing but crime, and we saw nothing but, I didn't see it, but
Yeah.
I saw it on the weekends. But there has to be something said about that, where a lot of refugees were put into the worst areas in the cities, and you don't hear that story being told much, where your parents didn't speak English, you're going through a fucking bullshit school system, you know.
You
So
know, food
what
stamps
happened? Yeah, what happened? I mean, shed some light on it, Angel.
I honestly can't say what happened. It's just we come from a third world, war-torn country.
Right.
So whatever our sponsors put us through, that's what we went through. And it's not like we had $1 million sponsors that put us in a gated community. We just grew up in the neighborhood
Gated
we
community?
grew up in. Gated.
Oh,
Yeah,
gated.
no.
That's a
But
gay.
no, you know,
Hey, leave Angel alone.
yeah, no, you know, he like men's in uniform. So, but we said that for
So
later.
do you.
No, you look like a man. But you know,
We're
it's
being
just,
facetious here, guys.
yeah,
Just
we
so
always have
audience,
fun.
Keep in mind.
that's how you know we have fun. That's how you know we're family. We get along. We talk shit all the time. People don't get that. They be like, damn, you know. But anyways, growing up in Milwaukee, I loved it, man. My younger years was cool, but when the teenagers years came around, it was a whole different thing because we were teenagers. You know, we started doing stupid shit,
Yeah.
not listening to our parents, and started going out and kicking it. But you know, we had our rough times, we had our hard times, and we had our good times. I mean, I can't say I had the best childhood ever, but I did.
Yeah.
We all had our rough times, you know.
Right. I kind of want to get the audience to understand this too, or maybe consider it as Sam could help me out on this. Is like what's going on now with kids. Like you saw, did you guys see that incident where in YouTube where that cop flipped over that little girl? and
Yes,
threw
yes,
her
yes,
through?
yes.
Okay.
You got to remember, these days is technology.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
When
very
we grew up, we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
We couldn't
Exactly.
record none of this shit
Exactly.
in school.
So my question is like, a lot of people are saying that the parents are bad in that situation, but those are the people that really, I mean, people. I fucked up a lot. I did a lot of shit in my
We all
younger
did.
age. But for outsider looking in, saying my parents were bad, like
Yeah.
that's kind of
We have
don't know
choices.
shit.
We have choices.
Yeah, we have choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you draw the line where like parents versus like nature kind of, because I really believe I was raised very well, but my environment really fucked me up kind of, you know what
The
I'm saying?
saying, we are the product of our environment.
Exactly.
But at the same time, we can always look
I
around
fully agree with
that.
you, Sam. Do you have anything you want to say about that? I mean, is it nature versus nurture? Like going off what I was saying earlier about, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, it starts off with like
Devil
you know,
dog.
genetics and shit. But yeah, I think your environment definitely has a strong influence on, you know, how you grew up. I mean, you know, it's individual too. You and I grew up in the same town, Alex, and you know, everyone out of Burlington, this small ass town, you know, grew up differently and like turned out differently to some extent, you know. So it's hard to say it's the environment also. So you know, it is a combination of both, I think.
Well, Sam was a good kid that came out of Burlington. He read comic books, and you know, he was a quintessential nice, good kid that went to the Marines, did good in grades. Where I was the degenerate Lao that, you know, got a tattoo at 12 years old, selling drugs at 15. Yeah. What? It got pretty bad. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's the environment side, as you said.
Yeah.
But fuck our story, dude. You have a way better story.
So yeah, a lot of people, you know, just know Cy through like what we're kind of saying. He's a war, you know, vet and all this. But so Marine to Marine, I want Cy to like tell us the story as detailed as you want to get, or as comfortable as you want to get with it. But I don't think people just know how you got your injuries and your story. I'd like to hear it.
Okay, well, where do I begin? I mean, I came in the Marine Corps in 1997, at age 23. And, you know, I was older than most, and I lived my life. Before that, I went to college for a little bit, you know, travel. I did a lot of things, you know, party, like probably hang out with the same crowd that Alex hang out with, you know. So, you know, I was heading on the wrong direction pretty much. And, you know, I wanted to change, and I wanted to do better for our parents' sake, you know, who came here to this country and worked hard for us to be better people to the society, you know, and I wanted to make them proud and make them, you know, that's my son over there, you know what I mean? That's my boy, that's my kid, you know what I mean? So I told my coworkers at work, like, I'm gonna join the army, you know. He like, the army? Why is that, you know? And this guy was a former Marine. He like, have you thought about the Marines? I like, the what? What is the Marine? You know, I had no idea what it was. Because all you hear is Marine that, Marine this. I mean, I'm sorry, that's the word. Army that, Army this. I mean, never heard anything about the Marine Corps. It's so small, you know. So that day, he told me, like, if you want to find out more about the Marine Corps, let's go down to the recruiting station. I go, okay, cool. And I went down the same day, and, you know, when I saw my recruiter, he walked out, and he was, like, shining. His uniform, everything, like, oh, my God, I got to, like, look sharp. I want to be just like him, you know what I mean? So that made me, like even want to be, you know, a warrior or, you know, military man, or according to Alex, a soldier. So, you know, I was like, I want to be like him, you know what I mean? So I took the test that day and everything, and the next week, like a couple days later, I signed up, and I was supposed to go to boot camp in October, but, you know, I was so anxious and excited, I told him I wanted to go earlier, so I left in August. Boot camp for 3 months, you know, Sam can, you know, agree to this, but it's probably one of the hardest things you do in your life. You know, 3 months of hard training, and, you know, what things you do there, like you never imagined, you know, things you see in TV, in the movie, you know. Wow. Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's pretty tough, you know. They teach you a lot of stuff. They break you down, and they build you back up. You know, they teach you a lot of responsibility and discipline. I think it was the best thing I did in my life, because it made me who I am today, you know, and really driven and responsible and goal-orientated, you know what I mean? I want to, if I knew what I'm after, I'm going to go after it, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like my beautiful wife here, you know what I mean? I went after her because I knew. You know, most guys would not even talk to her because they're intimidated, but you know what? You know, I want to go for the best, you know, and, you know, I went after her, and I got her.
You're saying it boosts your confidence a lot.
Yeah, it gave you a lot, because in high school I was like, you know, probably like Sam, you know, a geek and a nerd. You know,
He still is, Cy. He still is.
I was quiet, but you know what? I was a smart student. I played sports and everything, but you know, I was pretty quiet to myself. You know, but becoming a Marine, it gave me a lot of confidence, because you know, I did a lot of things that most guys have never even thought about. You know what I mean?
Now, Cy, when you first got the news that you had to go into combat, what was your mindset at the time?
Well, I was pretty young in the Marine Corps wise, but older in age. You know what I mean? Like most guys. So, all the younger guys were pretty frightened and like kind of, oh shit, you know, what's going on here? You know, you can see the fear in their eyes. You know what I mean? Yeah. But to me, I was more like kind of confused, like what's going on? Like, I mean, I wasn't scared, but I was kind of worried. But the younger kids, they were like, oh shit, we're gonna die. You know, like, oh, we're gonna die. Like, dude, relax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the first you know, I came to the Marine Corps in 97, and I went to my first duty station in California. You know, I've never been to California before. I was an Iowa boy, and it was a shell shock, you know. And I was 23, and just being out of California, it was awesome, you know, and different things, and the speed of people, how people live and stuff. The training we went through, and I got married at a young age. I was my first wife. Sorry, honey. I was 24. You know, met her through family, mutual friend, whatever, and not, and got her pregnant, whatnot, accidentally, and I ended up having to get, you know, our culture and our family. You know what? If you get somebody pregnant, you need to marry them and take care of them. You know. So I thought I did the right thing. My daughter now is 16 years old. She's a fucking rebel and out of control. My first combat experience, to answer your question, Alex, was in 1998. We did Operation Fox, which was in Iraq and Kuwait border. I was right on the border. We dug in a fighting hole, and we got out of our battleship, and we had to walk in like knee-high water to get to our, you know, rally point where everybody gets together and, you know, find out who's all there. And after that, we walked probably about a mile and a half to our staging area. This is the whole company, probably like maybe 300-400 Marines.
So were you in the desert? Was this? I'm picturing desert. Right?
It was a desert, you know, like Kuwait City, and you know. But at the time, we didn't know. You know, you don't know where you're at because you're just like, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
So we got on a bus, like those tour bus, and our driver was a freaking Haji. Like, you know, I was like,
you had a big target on your chest right away.
Yeah, you know, we're gonna there fighting a war against Haji, and our bus driver was a Haji. Like, you know, it was kind of like,
bus too, on top of that.
I was kind of, you know, it was kind of scary and everything. We were out there for like 2-3 weeks because during that campaign, you know, the American and the British were bombing Iraq from Kuwaiti airfield, and the Kuwaitis, like, if you guys want to use our airfield, you need to have troop on deck to protect us. Because remember back in Desert Storm, how the Iraqis came through Kuwait City and took over. The Kuwaitis did not want that. They're like, you know, if you're going to use our airfield to bomb Iraq, you will have troop on deck. So my battalion was called on to do that. That was the first, you know, like, combat event-wise, you know.
Wow. Sorry, that's... Keep going, man. Like, I'm fucking... I just didn't think Sam had headphones, because he's a fellow Marine, too. For those out there, Sam, my co-host, is a fellow Marine, too, around the same age as Cy. Yeah. So I kind of just passed my headphones over there, not knowing he had headphones on already. Because you could totally relate way more than I could. But I'm overwhelmed. Like, keep going, Cy. Like, just keep going, dude.
Well, I don't want to, you know, like, you know, hawk the mic, but...
No, it's your show, dude.
My story, I think my story is, like, really... my wife probably knows some stuff I'm telling you right now, so to tell you the truth, she doesn't know a lot of things that... Because I don't talk about it, you know, and tonight she might hear things that I've never told her.
Sure.
Okay? So, you know, that was the first combat incident that we went through, and then my recent one is when I got injured. You know, I got hurt, whatnot. And I know a lot of I think Laotian people don't know the award. It's called the Purple Heart. You know, I received the Purple Heart for being injured. You know, and you know, that's an award that's like when people got injured in combat, whatnot. And I also received an award for a NAM Achievement Medal with a Combat V. Sam might, you know, he knows probably about it, which is given to somebody for valor, you know, in combat. You know, and I didn't do anything ordinary. I did my job, but according to my supervisor and my, you know, lieutenant, he thought I did something over and beyond to provide for my junior Marines and, you know, make sure that they had, you know, food, ammo, and water, and whatnot. But I was just doing my job, you know. At the time, I didn't think it was so dangerous or it was scary. I just did it because your reaction from training that you've done, you know, and everything you did, you know, like running through like a field where people was firing at you and shooting at you, and you know they trying to kill you, but you didn't think about it. You're like, oh.
Sorry, did you ever get sidetracked with like the villagers there, like the children there? Like, how were the people in Afghanistan?
Well, the adults I don't trust, but the kids, you know, like they're kids, you know what I mean? But you should always be careful around them because you never know.
You always
gotta
be on your toes.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a weird feeling because you're always on your toes. You know what I mean? Like you're like, you know, I'm sleeping in my truck or sleeping outside by the truck, and we have fire watch people that, you know, stay awake to make sure, you know, you're safe all the time. And, you know, sleeping in Afghanistan, you know, like thousands of miles away from, you know, my fiance and my wife now, you know, and looking at the stars, like thinking like, when am I gonna die? What day will I die? You know, I mean, like, is this the last day or tomorrow? You know, you don't know. You know, and my last time over there, you know, I hit 3 IEDs, 3 roadside bombs. So you know, like,
Can you educate the people on roadside bombs? Is that something that's just planted there, or is it someone that really, you know, there's suicide bombers, there's roadside bombs, and there's what's the other one?
suicide vests, suicide IEDs.
IEDs. Okay, so is the IED, is it something that's just planted there, like a landmine?
They plant it. They have
Okay.
you know, they have mechanism where it can set off, but now they got smart because our system would catch the metal stuff on it, you know.
Yeah.
So they improvised. That's why it's called improvised, because they improvised it to use plastic on the device, so that when the pressure, it's called pressure plate. So when our vehicles or troops that walk on the deck and that they step over the pressure plate, it would cause the pressure to squeeze down to cause a current or ignition to the electric current. Then they put it together. It would send a charge to the ID to set off to blow up. You know, and because when they had metal and you know, cell phone calling or whatever, you know, our things that we have, tools that we had, threw it off, you know, blocked the signal. Okay. So they got smarter, you know. I mean, they view us like we view them, you know, like we have, like a football game, you know what I mean? You scout your team, you scout, you know.
Sounds like a chess game, kind of, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They know what we can do before we even knew it.
Right.
Okay. But I want to talk about the incident that happened to me, that when I got injured, you know, I got, you know, the worst injury, I guess I could say, you know. I know you can't see the physical scar and pain on my body, you know, but...
Well, first of all, Cy, can you explain PTSD, or Kimmi, can you explain PTSD?
I'll let my wife do that, because I'm going to take a break and drink some beer.
Yeah, Kimmi, can you know, as someone... People, I mean... We all know Cy went through a lot, but there's another story about, you know, the person that's waiting for him and dealing with his trauma after the war, and dealing with that is another story that's really not, you know, really not touched on much. Is you know, the wife or the mom or whoever it may be, but you know, really taking care of people with PTSD or a loved one really that's gone through this fucked up fucking issue that's been going on, you know. And there's no one's really talking about it. That's why I wanted you guys on the fucking show, because it's like fascinating to me. It really fucking is.
A lot of people don't talk about it because, you know, a lot of people are ashamed. They fear judgment. They fear what people are going to say about them. They fear, you know, a lot of people are going to blame, judge, you know, blame them. Oh, maybe it's you. Maybe it's you that's setting him off. Maybe it's you that made him that way, you know. That's why a lot of people don't speak up, you know. But I got to the point where, you know what, enough is enough. I need to be heard. People need to know what it's like to live with somebody with PTSD. Because it's not, you know what, the word PTSD is just a word until you actually live with that person every day of your life and experience it it's like walking on eggshells every single day. It's like running into a dead end. What do I do today? You know, Cy and I were engaged when he was deployed. So, you know, I was planning our wedding. I was planning the move. I was putting up my shop up for sale. You know, I really had no idea the military until I met him. I mean, yes, of course I know a little bit about, you know, the military, but not the internal part. Yeah. Yeah. You know, what really, yes, part, yeah. What really goes on behind closed doors, seriously. When he was deployed, yes, you know, my heart was broken, but then again, it's just like, you know what? He's going to fight for our country. I am the reason I can do the things that I do today because he's there defending this country. So, you know, it kept me on a positive thought. But then again, CNN was my biggest freaking nightmare.
Why CNN? Was it?
I was watching.
Telling a false narrative.
I was watching CNN every single day from the day he was deployed, and all of a sudden, you know, it's just like bomb this, bomb that, dead this, dead that. I'm like, I was going crazy. Until, of course, I educated myself and realized that Afghanistan is not the size of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or Oak Creek, Wisconsin. It was huge. Every time something happened, I thought, oh my God, it's him. So I had to shut off CNN altogether. But he was deployed for a total of 6 months. He was supposed to be gone for 7 months, but he came back a month early due to his injury. Before I sent him off, he was this sweet, adorable, soft-spoken, loving, kind-hearted person. Somebody that you just, you just fall in love with. I didn't notice a change in him until he came back. The day he came back, I knew something was wrong. He was distant. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to be touched. He didn't want to be held. He just pretty much, get away from me, you have cooties type attitude. That's when I knew something was wrong. He didn't want to discuss anything. He's very isolated. It went on for a while. Then he had nightmares, attacks in his sleep. There was a point of time where I thought our house was haunted because he was seeing things and he was hearing things. Monsters of some sort attacking him and jumping on top of him and choking him and I couldn't understand that. So, and I had no idea, mind you. I had no idea what PTSD was. I had no idea what anything was. So for about a month, I was going through this and I couldn't understand. Up until, and then I saw the anger and then I saw the tantrums. I saw the screaming and the, lashing out, and, it didn't get any better. It was getting worse and worse, and I couldn't understand it. And, and the thing is, I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know who to confide in because this was something that I thought was personal. I didn't know it was a condition.
Okay. This is good. We're going to take just a short intermission. We're going to get more of PTSD and then we're going to get your story on how you actually got your injury. So let's just take a short break, okay? Thank you.
Thanks for being patient, fans of Talking Lao'd. I forgot that was our podcast name because I was so seriously infatuated with the story, like overwhelming wise. But we'll pick up where we left off, and Cy was talking about his duties where he was in combat, man. Like that, I'm like kind of speechless because I was soaking all in, and I was like, wow. I mean, for lack of better words. But we'll continue with what Cy was going off of. Then we'll go with Kimmi. Kimmi kind of left off too. But Kimmi, like, am I saying your name right, Kimmi?
Yes.
Kim. Okay, Kimmi. So as a woman that has dealt with someone that has been through some really bad situations, like with PTSD, can you elaborate on it more and kind of picked up where you left off?
Like I said, I had no idea what PTSD was until I was actually face to face with it. You know, you never really know how strong you are until you've actually have no choice but to be strong. He comes back from Afghanistan, and that's when I realized something's not right. He was very isolated. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to be touched. You just couldn't look at him. It was just, you know, it was just one of those things where it's just like, do I know you? Who are you? Like, you know, and he was very, very distant. I couldn't ask him any questions. He would be very defensive. He would shut down. He would just, you know, just pretty much, the word isolated is a term that a lot of spouses know, because that's exactly the word that describes them when they first come back, you know. And it left me to the point where, okay, I need to do some more research on this because I'm so new. There's a lot of women who've been married to servicemen for years, who's been through deployments after deployments. I have friends that have gone through 7, 8, 9 deployments. But I felt like their story was not as extreme as mine, you know, and so I thought I was overreacting at one point, you know, like, am I just new at this? Am I just a little rookie that I just need to suck it up and just, you know, you know, grow the whatever up? And then, so it's been about 4, almost 5 years that he's been back. And I look back and I said, wow, they have not gone through a fraction of what I've gone through. I'm not trying to knock, you know, the deployments that their husband's been through, but just my personal experience with my husband because of what he's gone through in that deployment. You know, coming back wounded, and on top of being wounded, but you know, he was blown up in an IED, roadside bombing, which caused him to have traumatic brain injury. And the traumatic brain injury led to his severe PTSD. So that was something that it was so new to me. I had no idea. I've noticed changes when he came back. The first month was a hard month. I wasn't educated, you know. I was just, oh my gosh, our wedding is, well, he came back in January. Our wedding was in May. Everything was planned. the very first time that I noticed something really extreme was we were on the way to a dress fitting at the bridal shop. And something set him off. And I don't remember what it was, but it was very minor. And that's when he hit the brakes as he was driving so hard. And it just caught me off guard. Like, what the heck? You know, I was just like blown away. Like, where did all this anger come from? And of course, I was just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But, you know, just different events, sorry, to the point where I just said, okay, something's wrong with you. Maybe you need to go get checked. Of course, he was going through denial. No, it's not me. It's not me. Maybe it's you. Maybe, you know, you need to change your ways. And, you know, of course, for a while, I blamed myself. Like, maybe I need to approach him differently. Maybe I need to change the way I talk to him. Maybe it's, you know, I need to comfort him more. At that point, I still didn't know what to do, what to say, what to think. I was just, you know, it was so new to me. I was blown away. Very, very clueless. Up until, I would say after we got married in May, then that's when things were not getting better. They were getting worse. His anger, his temper, his just, a lot of it is tantrums. He throws tantrums. That's when I said, okay, you need to go get seen. If you're not, I'm out of here. I don't care. I have kids to live for. I'm here because I love you. But if you don't love me back, then I'm out of here, you know.
So, Cy, can you talk a little bit about then, you know, maybe the incident, or what is it that's going through your mind, that some of the things that she's saying in your perspective?
Yeah, can you kind of elaborate on that more, Cy?
Yeah, it's kind of hard right now because my heart's pounding, and you know, I'm getting like kind of, you know, like all the flashback I think about, you know, what gone through, whatever, and I get kind of emotional about it. But I put my wife through a lot, you know, and I didn't realize at the time, you know, what I'd done, but I think I was just, you know, doing reaction to what was going on, you know, and you know, like when you're in combat, you know, somebody's out there trying to kill you, you know, and like, and actually going through the motion when it actually did happen to you, you know, I mean, like, when the moment when you hit the ID, you don't know, like, is this the big one that's gonna kill me, or am I gonna knock the hell out, or, you know, as my family getting news that I died, or, you know, like, you don't know, you know what I mean, like, but it happened 3 times, and like every time it happens, like, your heart, like, your soul and your, you know, it's gone, you know, like, every time your soul dies, you know, like, and you have like, oh, you know, why am I still alive, you know, like, am I like dead, or this is like a dream, or, you know, am I really here, or, you know, it's just, you know, whatever, but you know, I guess a lot of it has to do with me having, you know, a lot of anger issue, like being mad because somebody tried to kill me, you know what I mean, and that you can't fight them back because they're cowards, you know, they're hidden like miles away and setting those bombs off. Like, I don't mind you standing right there and trying to shoot at me, like, you know, like, what I trained for, you know what I mean? Yeah. Come at me, you know, I can hit you 500 meters away and hit you in the fucking skull, you know what I mean? Yeah. But when they're out there like hiding miles away and setting bombs at you, and like, you know, you don't know where the hell is at, you know, and a lot of our guys, you know, our troop and our Marines and soldiers and sailors and, you know, military veteran that die from that, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't know it was their last time they're gonna hit the ID and kill them, you know what I mean? And I read about it every day. I see the news, like, you know, well, damn, dude, you know, like, maybe when I run the next ID, I might be dead, you know what I mean? And being over there in the war zone, you know, where you know, there's enemies out there trying to, you know, take your life, you know, and kill you, and like, you know, it changes you, you know, like people say, you're home, but you're not. You're still over there. Your mind and body and your soul is left there. You know, my wife could, you know, tell you this. Now, I cry for no reason. Just sometimes I get upset, I will just cry, you know, and like right now I feel like I'm about ready to cry, but you know, like you know, like you're part of your die. You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand. Like, when you get blown by ID and you know, your part of your brain like get injured or you get hurt, whatever, you know. And people think, oh, you look fine outside. You walk fine and you look cool, but like, fucker, do you know that I just got blown the fuck up, and you know, my body's not the same from the the shell shock and what I've gone through. Yeah, I look fine, but
I can imagine you seeing your friends too.
Yeah, some of them lost their arms and their broken leg and like but like I was telling Sam earlier, like we accept the fact that when we go over there, like we might not come home. Like that's when we sign the dotted line, just defend our country, like
That's a that's a good segue, yeah. Because I wanted to get Angel. He's close to you guys. We got your wife's perspective, and we just want to get like a third party to see if like your friendship or how has in your eyes what's your perspective.
And it's kind of funny that you brought this topic up, and how my cousin Kimmi brought up that we never watched CNN up until they got together. I pay attention to the world news a lot, but when they got together, and it's like, he's being deployed, and then we gotta watch this on the news, and we gotta see all the casualty, all the thing that's going on. And I've been with them since day one, man. I ain't been everywhere, I ain't been through everything, but it's just they got together. And I've been there, and I'm so blessed to be part of their wedding. Even after their wedding, I got to see all the heartache, his PTSD. I went through that with my dad, because he was a sergeant in the Army, okay? I watched what he put my mom through, and I watched what he put us through, but then all that kind of like faded away until my cousin Kimmi got with him. And then, I don't know. I can't really explain it unless you're in my shoes.
Right, yeah.
And then I can't really explain it if you're in her shoes, being a wife of a military person that's been overseas 3-4 tours. You know what I mean? Right. And then, you get the phone call, cuz, man, I don't think my husband's going to make it home. I'm like, what happened? I don't know. He's hurt. He's injured. I don't know. There's been times that he hit me up at 4, 5, 6 in the morning on Facebook. Tell your cousin I'm online. So, me, I have to tell her, like, yo, Cy's online. And, she's asleep. She's not expecting no phone call or message from me on Facebook at 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning. At the same time, she's a mother of 3 over there. And they had to deal with this. But you know what? Through all this experience, I want to tell you, I love this, because it's something I could tell the grandkids about. It's something I can share with both of my daughters, that your grandparents were all soldiers. My mom was a nurse. Yeah. And then coming to America, now we got people that are in the service. You guys are in the Marines. You went through whatever you went through. I wish I would have got a chance to, because I didn't get a chance to serve the country like I wanted to, because, hey, as a junior, I signed up as a Marine. My senior year, I'm going to take off after I graduate. But for me, being part of this conversation, I love it, because I've been with them since day one.
Well, no one could doubt Cy's bravery. I mean,
of course,
it's. I'm very humbled, and goddamn, this is like very personal to me, because growing up, my dad was in the war too, and I seen his PTSD that never went diagnosed, and I'm glad that Cy here, as brave as he is then and brave as he is now, even talk about it, to really just educate people on, like, this is a real issue here with PTSD. And I think Kimmi, going through her trials and tribulations ever since I came back. Wow, I'm speechless. There's not much I can say.
If you went through the stuff that they went through, you would understand. For me, being her cousin, getting the phone calls, this motherfucker's tripping. You need to talk to him. Yeah. You need to call him. And I do. Sorry, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. Your fucking cousin tripping, isn't it? No, calm the fuck down. Yeah. I'm not no fucking Dr. Phil. I ain't no fucking Oprah. Right. But you married to my cousin, you family. Right. And if you're doing something wrong, then I have to say something. There's many times my fucking cousin called me crying, this dude is tripping,
Yeah.
this and that. But it's all because of what he's going through, you know. And I have to accept the fact that I can't just throw him away like that, you know. He ain't shit to us, but at the same time, he's married to my cousin. I have to accept him as my family.
Sounds like you're very understanding.
You have to.
You
can't just be like, you know what? Fuck that shit. He ain't shit. He's never gonna change for you. And I've been with him since day one, and that's why I'm here with him right now.
But that's good.
You know?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. No, I was just gonna say. So how do you guys cope together as a unit? I mean, is there a light at the end of the tunnel? I mean, PTSD isn't something you just turn off; it goes away, right? I mean, how do you guys cope?
There's really no answer, to how do you cope? What's the answer? I don't have the answer. It's been almost 5 years. There's women who's been through it 3-4 times more years than I have, and there is no answer. But I can only speak on behalf of what I've been through in the 5 years that I've been through. I never really had a honeymoon with my husband because he came back wounded. Of course, every girl wants that knight of shining armor to come back from war and just rescue her and, live happily for the rest of your life. But you know what? I grew past that. It made me who I am today because of what I faced. I believe I was put in this man's life for a reason, and I'm slowly understanding my reason. He needed somebody like me. He needed somebody who was as strong, as resilient, and as loyal as I am, because I can't see anybody who could deal and survive in a marriage that is so challenging. I've been through it all. You name it. I've been through it all. There's moments where I question myself, like, am I doing the right thing? Is this right? But then I think back and I said, you know what? That poor soul, as mean and as angry as he is, that's not who he is. It's a disease. At the end of the day, it's a disease.
You got to remember, everybody's affected by this. Not just family members, not just the wife, the kids, the in-laws, the extended family. We're all affected by this.
Right.
And if you're weak-minded, you would have threw him away already. Some of us are still here because we want to see him work. Not all of us went to war.
Right,
I'm just a war baby.
Right.
But I didn't get to experience what went on in the Middle East, Afghanistan, and whatever he went through. And 6 months before his wedding, he almost didn't make his wedding. Wow. And I'm a groomsman in his wedding, you know what I mean? To get the phone call that, cuz, I don't think I'm going to have a wedding, this and that, like, that's the last thing you want to hear. Yeah. It's like hearing your mom and dad pass away, your heart drop. Yeah. But I love the experience, you know what I mean? I love this experience. Even if we wasn't here talking about your broadcast, your podcast, we still going to go on from now on, and still as a family, she's still going to call me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon, talk to him. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not going to throw him away because I know what he's going through. It ain't like, just imagine if he didn't go to war, also he's an asshole, fuck you, bitch, this and that, that's, then that's a different problem,
You can tell the
difference.
But,
for being who he is and going what he went through, we have to accept the fact that we have to listen and we have to be there. You can't just throw someone away like that, you know what I mean?
I think you said something really important is where, Kung Lao don't say you have to listen. When you said you have to listen, I think that's the most important thing. Like, people going through situations, whatever situation is, especially Cy and Kimmi's situation, people just have to listen because we've never been in their fucking shoes. And Angel, I think you made a really good point where people just need to fucking listen, man. And keep going. I'm sorry, Angel.
If you don't listen, then you're not listening to what your friend is reaching out to you. Right. Just give me like 5 minutes of your time. Let me tell you what I'm going through instead of throwing me away and like, you know what, he's no good. Yeah. I agree. If she went to war and he comes to me, I would tell him the same thing. Stick by her side. She needs you. Right. Because this is not what we signed up for. We grew up in America. We didn't grow up in fucking Laos. in Laos, I probably have fucking 4 wives and 20 kids. But we are a product of our environment and what our parents put us through. They brought us here for a reason.
Yeah.
And then not all of us is built for this.
Right.
It takes the strong, it takes the weak, but at the same time, talk about it and listen. But to me, if you're not going to listen to your spouse, you're not going to listen to the people that's with you since day one and give you advices, then you know what, then you're just a waste of our breath.
And, you know, one of the reasons I think this, you know, this story, this podcast is important is because now we can apply this to the broader Lao culture. And in general, our culture treats, you know, disabilities, mental illness, or whatever you call, as a taboo. We don't really have the vocabulary to talk about all these diagnoses. We just say everyone's piba. He went through war, you know, he's crazy. That's all we have, though, and it's kind of a shame. But I hope this opens up a dialogue to where we can, you know, talk more about, like, there's so many levels of, you know, of people coming back from wars and stuff like that.
It takes you guys to start this to bring everybody together. For them being the first on your show, hopefully we could reach out to everybody. It don't matter what you're in, if you're a lawyer, a doctor, just a housewife, just bring everybody together to listen.
Well, we really appreciate it, Angel, considering the following you have. But, you know, ultimately, this right here is a story. It's real life. What Kimmy and Cy are going through, that's kind of what we wanted to showcase, because this is real life.
It's not something you see in fucking Hollywood, man.
Nothing is this story never.
I've been
told.
experiencing this with them the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
We've been friends a long time.
Yeah.
And we family, but for them being a family, being married, I've been experiencing this ever since they got engaged, they got married.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like a fucking fairy tale, man. It's just this is real life experience that we go through. You know, if she wasn't my cousin, if I didn't love her, she would never call me and let me know, yo, you need to call him. You know, things like that. It's just all love. That's what I think, you know. I'm not just going to throw someone away because he's snapping out and he's talking shit.
Right.
That's just something that is going through his mind. He can't control that.
Person for that.
Well, I'm not trying to be intelligent. It's just, you know, it's common sense.
It is.
Don't throw that person away. Yeah. That person needs help. You know what I mean?
So, Cy, do you have just the last few words you know just like to speak about this? We're gonna
we'll keep going.
Keep going, and then we'll have his wife talk and stuff too. All right.
What do you want to know?
Just say anything. I mean, whatever's on your mind, dude. I mean, I'm just very overwhelmed and very humbled hearing your and Kim's story. I don't know what else to say. Really, I mean. So, I mean, one question that came to mind, do you remember when this first happened, your first instant coming back, where you kind of like snapped for no reason? Could you know you're snapping like a few minutes afterwards, or is it just you black out, or how does that?
To answer your question, when I first got back, in January of 2011. I didn't really know what I was going through. You know, I was really emotional. I broke down in front of psychiatrists out there too, because they go, something's wrong with you. You should see a psychiatrist. Like, okay, you know. And he was asking me what was going through my mind, and I seen him talking to him like he was, you know, diagnosing me and stuff or whatever. And then I just lost it. I was like worse than what I was going through now. I was like, you know, like bawling my eyes out, like, you know. And he like, oh shit, you know, and you know, and I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, a lot of, you know, the stress and pressure that was put upon you, and like, you know, things you were going through that you never gone through before in your life, you know, your adrenaline and your things that go through your body, that, you know, because you're in combat, and like, not everybody goes to combat. Not everybody, you know, go through what I've gone through. You know, the majority of my guys did, yes, because you know, we were in the same unit, but you know, a lot like Marines or soldier or sailor have gone through, you know, what we went through, you know, and I think, you know, people out there trying to kill you, and you know, that incident after that happened, after we hit that big IED, you know, before it even happened, I was a security element leader. I was in charge of all the security, you know, telling people where to go and where to set up the guns, where that think the danger is coming from or what we need to do. I was the one that, because that was my specialty. I was just the security element leader. I was in charge of the whole convoy, 70 trucks. I'm in charge of, hey, truck 45, slow down. Hey, truck 45, speed up. Your gap's too far, Hey, gun 15, make sure you watching out. This area is a danger area. That might be an enemy over there, My commander, which is, a lieutenant, asked me, like, hey, Sergeant Sibounma, what do you think we should do at this wadi? You think we should go here or we should go there? We have engineers that goes out and find IED. We have guys that, do a lot, especially the job for what we need to do, because we were transporting, supply, gear, and food, and what the Marines need out there, like where they're at fighting, and we're at the main base where we drive, like 20 miles, right? It takes us fucking a month to go 20 fucking miles, dude.
In a complete foreign land too. That's what's
20 miles, dude, in a month. Yeah. And I sat in the truck for fucking 18 hours straight with no air conditioning, drinking fucking hot ass water. You pour in noodle and eat ramen noodle, and like, what am I doing?
How do you? I mean, the mental conditioning in this situation. What did you have to tell yourself, or how do you, how do you maintain in that environment?
Since day one, when you go to the boot camp, you taught to like not show me your weakness, not show me your pain, and being a senior Marine and a leader. Yeah. Wow. So you hold in for like many years, Yeah.
Well, Kimmy actually, Cy's wife actually wrote a song about PTSD, which that kind of really, kind of gave me more momentum to, like, wow, this story is even more amazing. Well, Cy's story was amazing already, and when Kimmy wrote a song about, Cy's like talked to my wife, and then I got a totally different side of it, like a wife living with PTSD too. I was just overwhelmed, where I was speechless, because how do I even try to relate with the situation they're going through, Yeah.
Do you have some of the lyrics? Just, I don't know, just because some people don't know the song, or
Well, Kimmy, could you elaborate more on the song you wrote for Cy and what happened?
Actually, to actually correct, I wrote the song for PTSD. I am actually advocating for the spouses and caregivers of veterans who suffer from PTSD. I've been through numerous therapy sessions, counselings, doctor visits, VAs, everything, you name it. I've been through it hand in hand with my husband. I've walked him through it. I was there with him. So I know that a lot of the VA is geared towards helping the vets, in which I'm very grateful, because they do need that help and that guidance, and they need somebody to love them. But on the other hand, we have the spouses and the caregivers of these veterans who also need that love, who also need that support. Nobody has ever spoken up and spoke for these spouses and these caregivers. I, for one, am a caregiver for my husband. He is 100% retired at PTSD. He is disabled. So I have became his caregiver. I just want to speak out and reach out to those women, men, caregivers who feel that pain, but don't know how to elaborate it, don't know how to speak about it. I just want them to know that I understand. And in my lyrics, I wrote everything that went through my veins and my emotions regarding living with somebody with combat PTSD. And I wanted these people to know that they are not alone. And through my lyrics, I want them to know that I feel that too, and you're not alone.
Man. Very powerful, man. How do we keep in touch with you guys? For the fans out there listening, or anyone in general listening, whether fuck speaking out loud, but you know, if you suffer from PTSD and you're going through the situation that Cy and Kimmi are going through, by all means, like how do we follow you guys? Because your guys' story is fucking fascinating. It's considering first generation Lao too. Like, holy shit.
You know, from the first moments that I've experienced this with my husband, you know, I've tried reaching out to friends, family members, in-laws, strangers in a coffee shop, anyone who would listen to me, because keeping things bottled up inside makes it only worse. You know, that's with anyone. That goes to anyone, okay? You need to be heard. You need to just talk and let it out. And sometimes you just feel better. You just want somebody to listen to you. Don't give me an advice. Don't say anything. Just listen to me. Right. You know, sometimes that's the biggest therapy. It's just being able to talk about it. I don't care if you're a 2-year-old girl. I'm going to tell you what I'm going through. And as long as you just listen, that's soothing to me. So, you know, there's times when I've reached out to certain people and they just don't understand. The feedback, the comments that I get back, it's just like, wow, you just don't understand. And you kind of feel, it left me at a point where I just was just walking through that end. I just felt so alone. I've never, you know, I always tell my friends, and I joke about it all the time, I am the loneliest married person ever, you know, and it's true because it does make you, it leaves you lonely. You know, because you feel like nobody understands. You know, you try to go to your husband and tell you how he feels, and he just shuts you down. You know, because he's dealing with his own emotions and his own, you know, he has his own battles. Yeah. You know, so. That's a weird parallel. And so, you know, with me, with having the love for music, and then, you know, and now that I'm in California, it's just like, you know what I do with this? Let's beat the system. You know, do something that's gonna help you. Are you gonna walk away from your husband? What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, Sam. So yeah, going off what you were saying, like, has the government, do you think, really took care of you as a soldier, Sai? Like, have they promised? Have they kind of helped you as, you know, as an war vet, as someone that's going through PTSD, did you expect more out of your government to help you out in these situations with mental health or physical health, whatever the case may be? I mean, did you feel like the government was on your side with this, or?
Well, my experience through all this, you know, I started getting treatment back in like 2011 when I started knowing something's wrong with me, whatever, you know. Had to go get some counseling and start small, you know, and you know, like I was telling you guys before the show that the PTSD has only been around, that's categorized in the military the last maybe 5 years or so. Yeah. Before that, you know, they call it combat fatigue or stress.
They call it fatigue?
Yeah, combat fatigue, being, you know, worn out. Being worn out from combat stress. They didn't know what it was. They didn't know what it was. I mean,
I'm sorry, I didn't know what it was. This is my fucking liberal side. I'm not a liberal by all means, but it's so unfortunate that they would treat soldiers, military men, like, and their women like this, where we live in the best country ever, quote unquote, right? But also, like, I'm sorry, Sai, keep going.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to cut you off, brother.
So like I was saying before, you know, this condition, this illness has only surfaced the last maybe 5 or, you know, so years, maybe even longer, but from my knowledge, from my experience, okay? Yeah. I think maybe between 5 and 7 years, but even the doctors, even, like, you know, the people didn't know what it was. They just thought it was just like, you know, combat, they call it combat stress, you know, or the fatigue, I would say, you know, like fog of war is what it's called back in the old days, back in the, you know, World War I, World War II, when the soldiers and the Marines and the people fighting the war against the German, they call it fog of war, you know. When you get cell shock, you know, like, after something happened, you're sitting there like days, like, what's going on, you know. So it recently started surfacing and arise in the last 5 years because a lot of military men were committing suicide, and people didn't know why. Like, you know, why is people killing themselves? You know, because a lot of them were going through stuff that people didn't know what was going on. You know, I lost a couple friends. You know, that committed suicide because they had nobody. You know, nobody to understand what they were going through, and nobody to reach out to. You know, like you know, and I felt those dark moments before. You know, and
Yeah.
and with my wife, she before she kind of got the grasp of it. You know, and I felt she was one of my worst enemies because she didn't know what I was going through, you know, and I like didn't know who to turn to. So I tried to turn to her family, make sure, hey, you know, turn to my family, but nobody knew, you know what I mean? So I just communicated with a lot of my former Marines or former vets that kind of going through. Like 99% of my people I've served with has PTSD. But
So say, being Kon Lao and was it difficult for you to relate your PTSD with the Laotian community? The Lao community, compared to like, not even a community, but people that actually understand you. Because Kon Lao, we just call them like, people, whatever the case may be. They just look at it like that, where the Westerners or with like advanced medicine, they'll be like, he's going through some stuff. It's not that he's just crazy. There's like way more in-depth things to this. Yeah. So was it hard for you to deal with the Laotian community going through PTSD?
It was really difficult and tough,
Yeah.
People that you actually like, that you love and that you thought, oh, they're gonna support you, and they call you like, oh, he's fucking just crazy, or he's just stupid, he's just fucking drunk, he's a drug addict, he has no control, but they don't know what's going through in my mind and my heart and my body, and it really hurts sometimes. Like you just feel like isolated, like nobody cares about you, nobody knows, And I've sat there before and thought like, if I leave today, like I'm gone, like who's gonna really miss me? Like, am I like a purpose, And then I think my wife being pregnant, having my daughter, I think it like really saved me. You know what I mean? Like
for sure. Well, sorry. I mean, listen to what you and Kimmi are saying. I mean, going back, my dad fought for the Royal Lao Army. He went through a lot of stuff, but he masked it. He didn't talk about it. And I think what you and Kimmi are doing now is so important to the Laotian community, where, let's talk about things. Let's not mask it. Let's not do a bottle of Hennessy all night. We sound like hypocrites. We did, but ultimately, like, let's talk about it. Our parents, my dad died of liver cancer because he fought in the fucking war, had no psychologist to talk to, and he's a soldier just like you, which is really, let's listen to these soldiers. Let's give them help. Let's talk to them. Let's listen to them. And Cy, I think you're doing a very, very groundbreaking thing right now, and I'm so glad you're on our show, dude. Like, this is very humbling right now.
And since we're talking about talking and talking, I was just wondering if we can get you guys to talk to each other just a little bit. We're talking through a mic, through a general audience, but I was wondering if Angel could just talk to Cy and Kim, just about anything about this subject, or what you want to say to them personally.
Well, we even before we came here, and if this never happened, we still talk about it anyways.
Yeah.
And then when we leave here, we still talk about it. Yeah. Because we came here as a family, we leave as a family. And if this show never happened, whatever they go through, I go through with them. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a good experience. I love it. I would never thought I would be put in this position like this. My cousin being married to him, and then you see what he's going through. Because if you went through the stuff he went through, you couldn't sit still like this. You see that?
You
know what I mean?
So what would you say to Cy right now? I mean, just if you want to say something to him right now, just.
He would always know I'm going to be here for you. I'm always going to be here for you, because no matter what. Since even if my cousin never married him, he went through war, I'm still going to be as a friend. Yeah. Like, you know what? I know what you went through, but suck it up. There's going to be times that we're going to go through this type of conversations, but at the same time, we would never know we're going to be put in this position. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing that you guys are doing this. So hopefully everybody.
I think it's beautiful that, everyone's here right now. Screw my podcast. I just really, I'm generally like very humbled that you guys are on the show right now, sharing your story from speaking with Cy online, speaking from Kimmi online, it's like, why the fuck are you guys talking to me? Because I'm giving you guys a medium to talk about this, you know, and to hear you guys talk about these situations or your life, I'm just super humbled by it. And Angel, like, being the cousin of Cy and Kimmi, and it's holy fucking shit, man. Like, this is humbling, bro. It's so humbling. And I think, dude, you guys should, Cy, again, back, speaking out loud, it's telling Laotian soldiers, like, you're like the OG of it. Here's what you're going to go through. It's okay to feel this way. And you got family support. And I think that's going to help out a lot of motherfuckers that are Kun Lao, that are going through this war. And on top of it, Laos people put a lot of pressure on their kids already. You know what I'm saying? So, Cy, I think you're the first spokesman of this. Like, literally, you're the first. You and your wife are the first woman is politically correct, but whatever. First generation that are speaking about this issue. That's why I'm just overwhelmed that you guys. I'm talking to you guys right now, kind of, because you guys are the first generation talking about this shit for Lao-Americans. It's fucking crazy. It really is.
I agree.
And Kim, do you want to say anything to Cy so we could just wrap this up a little bit here? Thank you.
You know, I'm sure he knows where my heart is. You know, there's times when he makes it very difficult to love him. He's very hard to love. But deep down, I know who my husband is, and I know who, you know, I know he's a good man. I know he has good intentions. But, you know, it's that illness. You know, he's sick. I look past that. You know, there's people that say, why are you still there, Kimmi? You deserve so much better. Nobody deserves that. Oh, all the time. All the time. But you know what, though? I learned that you fight your own, you choose your battles. You know, you when you eliminate that, the negative, you know, comments and influences, and you grasp on all the positive, you know, and you start becoming a stronger person, you know. And when you have become a stronger person for yourself, you can actually become a stronger person for somebody else, you know.
Wow, you took the words out of my mouth. What you just said is like you're speaking not just for you guys, but for millions of people out there right now.
There's so many people are in my shoes who actually, you know, they don't know what to do, and I know because I've had so many spouses that contact me on a daily basis that, Kimmi, how do you stay so positive? How, you know, because I look past that. You know, I see the beauty in people, not the ugly. Everybody has their ugly. Everybody has their battles. It doesn't matter if you fought a war. It doesn't matter. Everybody has a battle. And that's how I see it. I see the beauty in everyone. And I see past the ugly in my husband because that's not who he is. You know, it's what he's been through. And it's an illness. It's a disease that he's fighting. And I can't imagine to see where he would be without me fighting with him. Yeah. You know, sure. My heart goes out to all of the spouses and all the caregivers out there. You know, broken glasses, broken TVs, broken remote controls. You know, trust me, you're not alone. Okay, you're not alone.
Yeah, I you know. Well, first of all, you guys, time is up right now. We don't have no bandwidth, and I don't know if that got recorded. Did it get recorded? Well, anyways, dude, you guys, I'm so honored and so humbled to have you guys tell us our story, and I really hope this could reach a lot of, not even Kun Lao, but everyone that is a wife or a girlfriend that's, you know, is dealing with what you guys are going through. In your situation, in Cy's situation, that's some heavy shit, and I think people could really take a page out of you guys' book right now. And again, guys, I'm so humbled. Dude, my fucking first guest on the show, Angel, Cy, Kimmi. Holy fucking shit, man. Thank you guys so much, dude. For real, man.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you. And we're going to do another podcast, please, because I could go on about this I could listen to you guys for fucking 5 hours. I really can. So, can